Welcome to WineWire, everybody. My name is Adam, and welcome to the place where you can find wines you cannot find in stores. We have a very special guest today. Our first guest on WineWire TV, the lovely Monica Ralphs from the Independent Wine and Education Guild here in Toronto. IWEG, otherwise known as IWEG, holds a very, very special place in myself and Nelson's heart. We are both students and graduates of the program. We got our wine learning there. Monica, you just moved into a brand new facility. This is a huge deal.
We did.
And tell people at home a little bit about IWEG and what you guys offer.
Well, we were the first program providers for WSET, Wine and Spirits Education Trust courses out of the UK, which are very well reputed around the world. And as Adam said, he and Nelson are graduates. We have been in existence for 35 years, and we've just moved into our own facility on Yonge Street. So
Finally.
Yes, that's right. And we have wonderful classrooms, and we offer a full range of courses for the wine beginner who just wants to know a little bit more and increase their comfort level, learn a little bit about food and wine pairing, right up to courses for trade professionals. And it's been a very successful program, and we're in the process of developing even further in terms of course curriculums, and there'll be some exciting new things coming for the school.
And listen, if you are at all interested in furthering your education, learning a little bit more than you know right now about wine and doing it in a more formal way, yes. I cannot tell you how great these courses are. And I've taken all of them all the way through to the professional level. And they're a great place to meet other wine lovers. They're a great place to learn. Yeah. But most importantly, it is the best place to learn how to taste in a systematic way. Absolutely. And that just gives you the power to understand what you're tasting and identify quality.
Absolutely.
So that's what we've tried to take away from that.
Exactly. It doesn't take away your enjoyment by any means, but you start to look at wine a little bit differently and a little bit more critically, a little bit more analytically, and it helps you to make better choices when you're buying, and that's really what it's about. It's to increase your enjoyment and your comfort level with drinking wine, because we know it can be pretty intimidating.
Yes, it is. I often cry to myself at night.
Yes, which wine?
Listen, why don't we take that little education and get started? So we have a really cool show for you. We're going to taste 3 wines, and considering the awful weather with the hurricane and the rain for the next, 20 days, we're going to taste some red wines that are going to go great with some hearty dishes, great in time for fall. All right, so the first wine of the day is the Musella Valpolicella Superiore Ripasso 2009. The Musella is a family-run winery in the Veneto in Italy. It is 100% organic, although much like how the Italians are, they don't tell you it's organic because that's just the way they make it. So this wine is the classic combination of the Valpolicella grapes, Corvina, Molinara, and Rondinella.
Absolutely. See,
I did learn that in school.
That's great. Those obscure little grapes from the Veneto.
Seriously. So what are you smelling on the nose?
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. It's very floral, clean, fresh fruit, a little bit of smoke. It's really quite delicious on the nose.
You know something, absolutely this carries right into the palate. This is a really, really great wine. All those red fruits are there. There's an earthiness. There's a real complexity to this wine that, it carries its alcohol very well. This wine comes in at 13.5% alcohol. It is a beautifully made wine.
Lots of complexity on the finish as well. It's really lingering on. Beautiful, beautiful.
And all of this really for quite a great value. This wine comes in at $29.95. I don't know. I'm hoping that we get a couple more wines like this in this flight. So the second wine, we're going down south. We're going to Australia for this one.
Down under. We are down under, and this is from the Clare Valley, which is north of Adelaide in South Australia, and it's from a producer called Skilligalee. It's a family-owned business. Husband, wife, and now son involved in the business as well. They make absolutely beautiful wine. Of course, the Clare Valley is renowned for what grape variety?
Riesling.
Riesling. So here we are having red wines.
This is going to turn into a quiz show, isn't it?
That's right, it is. And although certainly the Clare Valley produces fabulous Rieslings, it also is producing this classic combination of Shiraz and Cabernet.
Okay, I'm going to go on a limb here, Monica, and say because this is a cooler growing climate, yes. Monica,
yes.
that the typical notes you think from an Australian Shiraz or Cab,
yeah.
they're a bit muted. This is something that has got a lot of darkness to it, a lot of licorice, a lot of black fruit.
Absolutely.
You know, on the nose, it is screaming something that has a little bit of earthiness and eucalyptus, which is a real key trademark for Australian wine as well, and some California wine for that matter as well.
And this particular producer, in my opinion, all of his red wines, and this one certainly shows this characteristics, are very silky in texture, and that makes them, and again, a very high level of acidity. I'm still, you know, tasting that, and it's lingering on. Makes these wines extremely food friendly. So bring on your hearty fall beef stew. This would be a fabulous match with that.
That's awesome. I'm actually quite happy with this wine. It's nothing that I expected. This wine is coming in at $27.95, which, considering the comparative around other Shirazes coming from Australia, from producers that are dealing with such quality, I would say it's a pretty good value as well.
And I think it's a keeper as well. I mean, I think if you're buying the case, there's certainly, as we talked about earlier, there's potential to put those bottles away, and it will keep 5 years certainly, and it will evolve from there as well.
It's going to tell a story, and that's the main thing. All right, let's move on to the last one. We are going to California. Let me put this over here. We are
where
going
it's sunny and warm, as opposed to here in Toronto, where it's cold and wet. And
this is the Educated Guess 2010 Cabernet Sauvignon. This is a really interesting winery in the sense that the winemakers at Educated Guess do what's called a custom crush. They don't own the winery. They have long-term contracts with grape growers in and around the Napa Valley. They buy the grapes, they use someone else's equipment, and they produce a wine that's high quality but that has a much lower cost to manufacture, which means you get a great wine for a tremendous value. This wine is coming in at $32 even. But again, it is a warm weather climate, 14.5% alcohol. So right there, you want to make sure you're paying attention because it could be a little bit hot on the palate.
Well, it is certainly much warmer even on the nose in that the fruit is coming across much more ripeness essentially. Very floral as well, and a little bit of oak coming through on the nose. We've clearly made that jump from someplace cooler to someplace warmer. You can tell already in the glass.
Absolutely. The palate also has a very, very ripe red and black fruit. There's a little bit of a sweetness, and I'm attributing that to the oak treatment, but it's very well integrated into the wine as well. Overall, this is a very nice package. I'm wondering how it's going to keep. I would definitely think you can drink this wine now.
Yes.
I'm wondering if it's going to develop in the bottle over the next 2 to 3 years, but it is drinking very well right now.
Yeah.
And I think that, quite frankly, at $32, Napa Valley Cab, pure Napa Valley Cab, can't really go wrong.
And on the palate, you're getting that beautiful oak treatment as well. So there's clearly some very good wood treatment going on in this winery, and it's a very pleasant package, as you put it.
Listen,
pretty typical of this kind of grape in this kind of region. So they've done it well. They really have.
This has been a really nice flight. Monica, I really want to thank you for coming in.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
You know, this is, as I said, if you've ever wanted to increase your knowledge, and I know that wine can be a rather intimidating thing, that's why I wear the t-shirts that I wear. Yes, there'll be a conversation about that later on Twitter, so come check it out on that. This is the place to do it. It is a non-threatening, you are amongst wine lovers, and I guarantee you will leave every class learning something that you didn't know when you first got there.
Absolutely, and it's a journey. I mean, you continue to learn as you go through these programs. Please check out our website. It's www.iweg.org. And we'll be loading very shortly all the courses that are coming up for the winter and next spring's terms. And we'd love to see you at our new facility at 211 Yonge Street.
Do you think they'll let me teach a course?
Absolutely. The newbies anyway.
Is that dangerous?
No. I mean, we always look for instructors who have a lot of knowledge, clearly, graduates from our programs, and who are so passionate about what they do, and who want to share that knowledge and passion with
I just want you to
consumers.
notice Monica actually just called me smart, which is a rarity in my life. Anyways, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
As always, please follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Our Twitter handle is @WineWireCA, Facebook @WineWire. Thank you so much for coming, and we will see you next week with a couple more wines. And there you go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Enjoy the lovely weather.